If you've seen part 1 of this series, you know where this video is going. We're going to continue to shine a light on a dysfunctional relationship that seems to be masquerading as the ideal picture-perfect scenario when it is anything but. And it all started before she even entered a relationship with him, when she sought him out purely to make fellow YouTuber Ethan Klein upset by dating his brother-in-law. And only got worse from there. Even during her announcement of them being official, she revealed that she demanded his passcode from him shortly after. Does that sound like a healthy relationship to you?
Evening, Bruce and me and Mozzie from the weekend. Yeah, we're like dating or whatever. Like I have a boyfriend or whatever. Like it's official or whatever. So I think there's been a lot of confusion because I post some videos out of order. So the one of us eating mac and cheese was like back in April when I was like, I just wanted to do and like, you know, we were just casually dating. Like I really liked him, but I was very scared. I think all of it. I don't think he was ready for it. I don't think I was ready for it. I was very like scared about it because it just didn't make sense. And I tell him this too. It's just like, it doesn't make sense. Like that's not how I envisioned my, like, it's just not who, like, I'm not saying physically, I'm just saying like what he does, who he is, his belief, like it didn't make sense that we would like each other. So I was just like, I was trying to force it not to happen, to not be into it. I was like, no, I want to be single. I want to be free, kind of. But then I was like really into him, and then it was so much back and forth, push and pull between both of us. And then we just finally were like, I was like, what are we doing? Because we had a 3-week break of just not talking, and then he hit me up, and I'm like, we had to, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? I just need to know, because it's kind of torturous to like. It's just a lot, like when you just don't know and you don't know where your heart is and if it's real, if it's not, like what are you feeling, and it's just like, yeah, it's committed, exclusive, done and done, like give me your passcode type thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And let's not forget she made an expose video on him, where she outed him for talking to other girls behind her back, and talking bad about her to these girls.
I guess I just get more scared that one day you're gonna be like, oh, this is too much.
One day? You mean after you did the video about my DMs?
Well, you weren't talking to me then, so.
Like what?
No.
What more is there?
But you weren't even upset about that, you said.
Hmm?
You said you weren't even upset. I mean, you brought that up, no?
No, but I'm saying...
Oh, you think that's like the worst you can get?
As far as like... Because that's like a personal attack, it's not even...
Well, I don't think it was personal.
She tries to convince him that he doesn't think it was that bad even though he refers to it as a personal attack, which she argues it wasn't. She clearly cares more about her own feelings on the matter than this. And in general, which is even more evident when she shares that she likes to call him names that he doesn't want to be called because she finds them cute, even though he clearly doesn't appreciate being called out of his name.
What did you think? I was going to say his nickname, but I'm not going to say it on camera because he doesn't like when I say it. I'm going to call you something cute, but I will say Moses.
I have so many nicknames, I don't need more.
I have a really cute one that I love calling him at home. He's not about that either. Okay.
It's not my name.
Which seems to be part of her controlling nature. Which you can even see here when she says she wouldn't let him have a job where women were around.
Yeah. If there's any position teaching open, let me know.
But only Harvard or Yale or Stanford. No other universities will do for my professor.
It's far away. How is that going to work?
Oh, okay.
No,
Pepperdine. Pepperdine, you could teach.
Yeah, the one.
No, you can't teach there. It's 85% girls. You go to an all-boys college.
I can teach in college. Unless you come with me to class every day.
That's true. I'd like literally sit in on all the classes. Because that happens all the time. Professors and their college students.
That's true. It's true. It's
Is that what you would do?
No, I'm saying it's
God.
true. Like,
Because not only is she controlling, but she's insecure. And clearly doesn't trust him. He doesn't seem to trust her either though, because by her own admission he cut her off completely after she physically attacked him.
Well, we had like a 3-week-long break this summer. Brian Moses chose not to talk to me, and that's totally fine. We had an incident, a really bad incident. And, you know, he forgave me, and then we had another bad incident, and I forgave him as easy. Which you don't have to forgive anybody. If someone hurts you, you don't have to forgive them. You can choose to forgive and try and move past it. Or you can walk separate ways. And either way, like, I think you have to respect it. Honestly, when I walked away from, well, to be honest, I never walked away from a relationship. When a relationship walked away from me, I had to, well, I didn't always respect it, but you have to respect it overall.
Moses confirmed the reason he stayed away in the beginning, and why they could not date, was because she could not control herself and he felt unsafe.
No. You were like...
what?
There was one point, I just remember so specifically where like, I don't want to date you. And I was like, why? But why? And you're like, that's why people date. So they realize that they don't want to date. And you told me you didn't want to date me because I didn't have control over myself or something.
Well, the beginning was so crazy that for me it felt like there was no way for us to move forward. Like it was just so crazy.
What was so crazy?
Your behavior.
You're like, you can't control yourself, and now I see it. And I was like, couldn't control myself how?
Showing up to my place. Like I had work. I have work, different projects, different things. And my whole life is that stability of having that work. And then suddenly there's this like element in my life that is uncontrollable. And I couldn't have that.
So I'm still uncontrollable.
No, we're very different. You're a different person now.
No, you think
Yes.
I'm under control?
No, you're a different person now. You're
I
not
feel,
under anyone's
I feel like
control.
I still mess up your life being uncontrollable with what I say. I feel like I'm always getting you in trouble.
But that's a bit different than back then.
Which isn't surprising considering she tends to take her mood out on him.
This is the first time we're talking today because I was in such a bad mood I couldn't even look at anybody.
She even stops him from speaking at one point in that video to make him speak Hebrew for her own entertainment, cutting him off before he could finish his sentence. Clearly not caring about what he had to say considering she was asking him to finish the sentence off in a language she didn't understand solely so she could treat him like a toy to entertain her.
No, but today it started like such a long day. We have so much to do, and then suddenly.
Can you finish that in Hebrew? Can you reply to every question I asked for the rest of the video in Hebrew?
No.
Why? You know I love when you speak Hebrew and you change.
In another video, Trisha again brings up Moses' concerns about not wanting to date her, and seems to be upset with him for it.
Like, I never thought we'd be like here, you know what I mean? Like, that's so weird. I don't know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know you didn't. You were very like, not feeling it at the beginning.
No, it's not that. I was just slow. That's all.
No, you definitely told me, like, not working. This is why we date, because we need to figure it out. Like, and I figured out, like, you can't control yourself.
No, but there's a lot of other things. Like, you really, really wanted to pursue. You wanted, like, I didn't want to be in the way. I didn't want to be in the way of that.
I don't know if that was true. I think I did that because you were so, like, we're not gonna date. Yeah.
From the day I met you, you talked about filming with men, like having.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to be in the way of that. Mm-hmm. Then you had this kind of idea of like, well, my partner and I will be together on OnlyFans, make tapes and travel the world, kind of thing.
Right.
Which sounds great, but I wasn't. So I just felt like there were certain things that I wanted to make sure that both of us knew. You know, like I didn't want to change the course of your life, and then 2-3 years down the road you'll be like, man, I missed, like I should have not done that, I missed out on that or whatever. So so you've got to do what you wanted to do to see what it's like, and then choose what you wanted to choose. Like I don't feel there's something that you didn't do because of me.
Right.
And then me, I moved slow. It took me a while. I moved really slow. Because once I say, like once I
Not
commit,
really, babe. We bought a house in 8 months.
No, but I mean like once I commit, I commit.
Yeah, but that's not slow.
Relative, right?
Relative to what?
Because you were saying there's a moment where I wasn't into it. It's not that I wasn't into it. I was just slow. I was just moving really slow. But from day one, everyone was just like, don't waste her time. She wants to get married. She wants to have kids. Don't waste her time. Don't waste her time. I was like, okay, I shouldn't waste your time, right? So, I don't know. Just try to be responsible.
By listening to comments?
No, like, by respecting your time and space and like.
Like you literally listen to comments. You didn't listen to anything I said or anything.
And she seems to get upset often, and she admits that Moses has to adapt to her so she doesn't flip out. He essentially has to walk on eggshells to not set her off, which is something Ethan Klein once shared that he felt he had to do with Trisha.
And it sucks because at the end of the day, yes, people do have to adapt to you. So only certain people can handle that. Or want to handle that. My family does a really good job of it. My current boyfriend does a really good job of it.
And she seems to be fully aware that she causes him problems.
I just feel like I sometimes cause more problems in your life than...
She was also going through his DMs when they first started dating, and throughout the entirety of their relationship, which she seems to shrug off as normal behavior.
And it didn't start out that way, and we had our bumps. And I definitely was at one point going through all his DMs when we first started dating, because whatever.
And here's more about how she has terrorized Moses in their relationship.
I'll just straight up say it, my relationship at the beginning, I like straight up begged for him to come see me. I would go to his house, like bang on the door to see me. Like I was sending just, which is fine, there's no judgment there, but I was just like grasping for attention, just being like, I would just send actual message all the time, just like get him to come over, like just the most, right? And not that he like would just jump when I would say it, but I was like, I wanted to be like boyfriend, girlfriend right away, like, you know what I mean? And then there's things that happen or whatever, and then he took his space, and I was like blowing him up. I was like, oh my God, I miss you.
She doesn't seem to treat Moses like his own person at all, or even like a human. She frequently refers to him as a toy and has even compared him to an animal.
And I'm very fortunate that I have Moses here. I'm so fortunate. He is like my little freaking comfort blanket. And I understand why people have like animals and stuff now. Like, you know, it just nothing matters when you have this like comfort.
At one point, Trisha tried to force Moses into doing the kind of content she did.
What changed your mind?
Those things. What do you mean?
What? Because I was like, okay, I don't need a boyfriend. Then you're like, okay.
No, I was just saying there was like a long journey from the things you wanted, the things I wanted, and the things that then it changed, you know. You were very adamant about it. And like, want a boyfriend, we'll do together, travel the world together. That was like, this is what I'm doing.
I feel like I didn't say it like that.
Which Ethan Klein spoke about on Frenemies. How she tried to pressure Moses into doing that kind of content, knowing it would cause issues for him and that he did not want to do it. She was even successful in getting him to do things he didn't want to at one point, when she got him to pose fully clothed alongside her doing that kind of content as a compromise to get what she wanted. Which was him in her content. Moses did not want to be in her life, and did not want to be pressured to do things so bad that he even ignored her for weeks on end at times.
The happiest moment of my life is when, after 3 weeks of you ignoring me, he finally called me.
Keep in mind that she wanted to change this man's entire life and his morals when she admitted that she didn't even like him at that point. That she had only dated him as a troll to hurt Ethan Klein. She has even frequently admitted to Moses that she faked interest in him and didn't really want him. Yet wanted him to change his whole life for her and wanted to have a child with him during that time.
This is one thing I did find fascinating when I first met you, because at the beginning I was just out of my mind. But I love that you knew all these stories. I was like, truly was mind blown. Like, that was one thing I did not fake or anything at the beginning. I was like...
Trisha also does this thing where she paints making her boyfriend save her from self-inflicted scenarios as these beautiful and romantic moments, when they're anything but that. She has done the same thing to Jason Nash, where she admitted that she would put herself in danger on purpose so that she could call him and make him feel bad and have him take care of her. This is the same thing she admits to doing to Moses here. Calling him during a moment like this and then romanticizing how he took care of her during it.
I don't know, that I was just too heavily under influences, right? And he came to pick me up, and this was before we started dating, and we actually were not on good speaking terms, and he came to pick me up, and I was like, and he was like in bed, it was like 10:30 at night, and like he was not happy with me, we were not dating, and he like came to pick me up to make sure I was okay, and like stayed with me that night, and like just to make sure that I would like was breathing throughout the night, that everything was going good, because he didn't know what was happening with me. I didn't tell him, you know, but he kind of stuck it out. I think if he knew more, I think he probably would have taken me to a hospital or something, but I think he just thought maybe I was like drunk, but then he realized like, oh, there's probably a little more to it. And yeah, and I was like shooting at a hotel, and he picked me up, and like it was a hotel so far from my house, and took me home and kind of just made sure I was okay. And he had to like get up and work the next day. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but there's been a couple incidences where he like literally saved me so many times, because I was definitely using drugs back then when we first met. And I don't know, just was really, really great.
The fact that she says that Moses saved her multiple times means that she put him in this position multiple times for her benefit. Notice how when she talks about what she likes about him, it always has to do with what he did for her. It's never about Moses, it's about her. She romanticizes the fact that she put Moses through a lot, and that he stuck around.
So back at my old house, like, I was cray cray. I was on a lot of Xanax. I did a lot of drugs. Like, I definitely wasn't doing the work on myself. And yeah, we used to have fights a lot that I would mostly just be instigating. And he brought that over for one of my shoots. I was just really angry. He's like, Moses's love is like one of those, like, where kids like throwing this tantrum and you really just gotta hold them. I don't know what that is. That's like a syndrome, right? Where people just like, or kids like can't control themselves and you have to like almost tackle them with love, like hug them and be like, it's okay, it's okay. I'm not sure what it is. I don't want to like say something wrong, but that's kind of how I was.
She doesn't seem to want a life partner, but a caretaker. The only thing she ever praises about Moses is how he takes care of her. It's never anything about who he is himself. Their entire relationship is about how she needs him to take care of everything for her.
But he's definitely more of a shower in every sense of the word. Like, I don't know, just people just loved, I don't know why people have such a problem with it. I'm like, I mean, the caretaker thing is like obviously a joke, but it's so nice to be cared for and taken care of.
She tries to argue that it's a joke, but it's clearly not, considering she has said things like this.
I missed you today. I had anxiety going along without you. I was like, oh my God, I'm really in a codependent relationship. When I was going to Raising Cane's, I was driving and I was like, I felt paranoid. I felt on edge. I'm like, oh no, I can't go anywhere alone.
She has even admitted that if Moses were to ever pass, she would find someone like him to replace him. Because it's not about Moses himself, but what Moses can do for her. Which is why she could easily replace him and why she would need to.
Like, oh, we talked about me being dead.
Oh, no, I mean now. Like,
Okay.
When you were saying you replaced me, I'm like...
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't think about it.
I would have to. I don't think I could live. I would have to find, I mean, I know that's like unhealthy, but I think I'd have to find someone that was like you. Like, to replace you.